So there are four levels of wealth creation, and in today's video I'm going to tell you what all four levels is. And by the end of the video I'm going to give you the number one level of wealth creation and why you need to aspire to get to this level, because your income will be capped depending on which level you are. So you want to stick around for that. My name is Adrian. This is alwaystalkmoney.com. I like to talk money as it relates to everyday life, personal finance, investing, and anything else that can help you to level up with your financial life. If that sounds good to you, please give a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, become part of the family. We make new videos like this every single week. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, before I start, this concept I got from Myron Golden, and so I'm putting my own twist on it to bring it to you, my viewers. So the first level of wealth creation is that of the worker, and that's where most people are. That's where you probably are. And if you want to move up to the levels, you have to know which level you are at in the first place. So the worker would be the person that does the actual work, or the implementer, right? That would consist of the people in fast food, in retail, and even truck driving. That is an industry that I came from, right? So I'm not throwing shade at these people. But anytime you are the one that's physically doing the groundwork of a company, you are the worker, which means you are at the first level of wealth creation. Now, why is this important? You need to understand that at the first level of wealth creation, it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to get wealthy, right? Because you have to implement. It means you have to work with your hands, your feet, and so on and so forth. Why is that hard? Because you have to trade your man hours for money. And the more hours you trade for work, the less time you have in your life. And there's only so much time that you can trade. There's 24 hours in a day. You're supposed to be sleeping for 8 of them. You're going to spend time with your friends, your family, and your kids. So that only leaves a limited amount of time for you to actually make some money. And at this first level of wealth creation, you can earn anywhere from minimum wage or below minimum wage to up to, let's say, $150,000. Now, $150,000 sounds great, but that's if you are at the top of your game in the worker phase. Now, above the worker phase is the second level of wealth creation, and that is the manager. And the manager basically describes what it is, right? So the manager is the person that's over the workers, the person that makes sure the workers are doing their job, make sure they're clocking in on time, making sure they're doing their tasks as required by the company. Now, why does this person make more money? Because they are there to manage other people. So that's a higher level skill set. The skill set of the implementer or the worker, it's a low level skill set. Again, no shade, but pretty much entry-level jobs, anyone can do it, right? But not everyone can be a manager. Not anyone can manage other people, because it takes a particular type of skill set to deal with the emotions of other people, to deal with the politics of the workplace, to making sure you're treating everybody fairly and everybody on the team is working together and gelling correctly. And trust me, out there, let me know in the comments down below, have you ever been in a job and you thought, wow, my manager sucks, or my manager is good, and you thought you could do a better job, but then when you got the manager role, you saw how much BS you had to deal with from the workers, and you're like, you know what, it's not for me. Well, that is the reason why managers get paid more than the workers. Now, managers have a wider berth for their income than workers. As I said, workers can go from minimum wage or below minimum wage to maybe $150,000 a year if you're top of your game. Now, managers will typically start at around 30 to 40K, and they maybe could go up to 250, 260, 300. And that is if you're managing like at a Fortune 500 company, you're a high level manager, middle manager, or something like that, you can make those high salaries. But on the low end, 30, 40K, that's if you're a manager at Kinko's or the local Waffle House, right? So that is the difference in salary. Before I get into the third level of wealth creation, please leave a like for the YouTube algorithm if this video is bringing you value so far, and as well as subscribe, become part of the family. As I said, we make new videos like this every single week to provide you with this good money value. Now, the third level of wealth creation is the orator, or what I would say is sales, right? So you always hear people say salespeople make a lot of money. But the thing that prevents a lot of people from going into sales, because you have to cold approach, you have to oftentimes work on commission, and that's why they make so much money. As a salesperson, your voice, the orator, is your job, right? So it might be less physical work than the worker, right? Because you don't have to be flipping burgers in 100-degree kitchen all day. And it might be less work than the managers because you don't have to deal with temperamental employees, employees showing up late, employees hating your guts, and so on and so forth. But with the sales, you have to deal with a lot of rejection. You have to basically create money out of thin air because when you are a salesperson, you're calling someone, they don't know who you are, but you're trying to get into their pockets and getting money out of their pockets. And that's why you get paid the big bucks. And in my past, I have done door-to-door sales and also phone sales, and I know how difficult it is. But also it builds character, it builds resilience, and it also shows you why you make the big bucks because a lot of people cannot take rejection. And before I get into the fourth level of wealth creation, which is the highest level, I just want you guys to know that each level contains the other levels. So again, speaking on sales, if you're a sales guy, let's say like a realtor, your job is to make commissions selling houses. You have to do some implementation or some working. You might have to stage the house that you're trying to sell. You might have to do some painting or other minor repairs if your contractor cancels on you. You might have other realtors under you that you're training, managing, right, to get them up to snuff, get them up to speed in the way that you want them to sell, right? So even though you are sales, you can still be a manager and you can still be a worker. But the more of these wealth creation skills, the more of these skills that you have on this level, the more money you can make. Now, when you're in sales, you know your income is practically unlimited. If you can sell ice to an Eskimo, you can sell anything, and that means your income is unlimited. Here on YouTube, Ryan Serhant is a YouTube real estate agent, and he's about to sell $250 million properties. And besides that, he's sold hundreds of $1 million of very exclusive properties to some of the richest people in the world. And those commissions, let me just say, are, if I ever got them, you would never see me make another video again. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I'll always make videos for you guys because I love personal finance and I love bringing you value. But the last level of wealth creation, can you guess what it is? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to get it, so I'm just going to say it. And that is the imaginator. What is an imaginator? That's a person who comes up with the ideas. Because if you think about it, right? If you have an idea so great, let's say the iPhone, let's say the smartphone, right? Steve Jobs, one of the greatest imaginators of our time, God rest his soul, but he brought to us the iPhone, and his ideas, when brought to life, made a company $1 trillion company. That's just his ideas. That's just his imagination. He's not working harder than the people who are putting the iPhones together physically. He's not working harder than the people at the Apple store that are the managers at the Genius Bar. He's not working harder than the salespeople at Apple trying to push their products out into the market. All he has to work hard at is the ideas. And if you have a great idea, your income is unlimited. It could be billions. Think of all the $1 billion ideas that we have in our world right now, right? The cell phone, the airplane, cars, internet, Wi-Fi, radios, even just imagining sports, right? We invented sports. If you have ever invented anything, you are an imaginator, and that means you are at the highest level of wealth creation. Again, each level of wealth creation contains the other levels. So when you were a baby imaginator and you had your idea, you probably had to build it yourself. So you were the worker or the implementer. You probably had to manage a team, a small team, when you started to get your company off the ground. And then when you're trying to sell your imagination to the world, you have to be on stage, making presentations, making YouTube videos, going on podcasts, anywhere where your voice can be heard. You are there as the salesman for your product, but also you were the imaginator because you brought that product to life, right? But the bottom line is, if you are thinking about yourself in terms of how can I build wealth, understand that there are levels to this. And if the only way you can build wealth is to be a worker or an implementer, then understand that your income is going to be capped at some point. If all you're good at is managing other people, your income is going to be capped at some point. If you're good at sales, then that is a good place to start, right? Or a good place to end. You don't necessarily have to be the imaginator because, again, if you can sell ice to an Eskimo, you will never be broke. And there's nothing wrong with being on any of the levels, right? just as long as whatever you're doing is aligned with your vision for your life and it's bringing you money, because this channel is all about bringing it back to the money, bringing it back to financial independence, and that looks different for everybody. My name is Adrian. This is Always Talk Money. Leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, please, and thank you. Subscribe to the channel. We make new videos like this every single week. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.